What to do, YouTube? It's your girl, Naomi Williams here, and right now, today, what do we have here? Story time. Set it off. So this is about to be a concise but complete rundown of what happens in Set It Off. So if you don't want any spoilers, go back to my channel and find another video, because I'm about to spoil the fuck out of this movie for you. I'm gonna give you 5 seconds. 5. All right, so get my notes. I want to make sure I hit everything. Here we go. Frankie works at a bank. She has a nice little job as a bank teller. And this nigga she knows from her projects, he shows up. And she's like, Darnell, I ain't never seen you outside the projects. He pulls out a fucking gun. He's robbing the joint. She's like, Darnell, please don't. He's like, bitch, give me the money. 3 other niggas, pull out guns, waving them and shit. They're grabbing money, but the cops show up, start spraying everybody. One of the robbers escapes, probably like 10 minutes after the fucking robbery is over. They pull Frankie, they meaning the cops and her employers, pull her into the back, and they're like, why didn't you follow the procedure? And she was like, I don't know, like I recognized him. And her white boss was like, you recognized him? Oh dear, that just doesn't sit right with me. You're fired. They don't even fire her because she didn't follow procedure. They fired her because she knew the guy. Next thing you know, we're at a 70s themed party hosted by her friend Stony. Stony has a younger brother. He wants to go to UCLA. The tuition costs $5,000 though. She doesn't have that, but she's gonna figure out how to get it for her brother. She ends up sleeping with this dusty ass old man who like owns a car dealership or something. She was going to work for him, but she says, I need an advance. And he says, all right, if you want an advance, you're gonna have to hop on his dick. And she's like, fine. And she does it. She's disgusted, but she does it for her brother. And she comes home with the $5,000 check after trying to rub the stink of this old dusty nigga off of her. And her brother says, I didn't even get into UCLA. Nigga, what? Stoney's like, what the fuck? Her brother leaves to go chill with a friend of his. This friend of his happens to be the one dude that escaped the robbery that happened a couple days earlier. This dude has an AP shaved into the back of his head. The brother's like, that's cool. Dude is like, you should get it too. And he's like, aight. So the girl that's in the room gives him the same cut, AP, into the back of his head. He leaves. The cops show up looking for the fucking robber. And the only way they can identify the robber is from the AP on the back of his fucking head. This is the most hood way of identifying a fucking bank robber I've ever heard of, but this is what happened in the story. So they see the brother thinking it's the robber, they mow him the fuck down. Then they go into the hotel room or apartment or whatever, it looks like a hotel room. They spray him too because he's shooting at them. They realize, damn, the guy outside isn't the bank robber, it's a fucking student. So they're like, whoops. Stoney shows up like, oh my God, that's my fucking brother. She's traumatized. Meanwhile, they still have to work. Working class black woman, you have bills to pay. And Luther, who is the man that the girls work for, the girls being Stony, TT, Frankie, and Cleo. Frankie now works with her friends at the janitorial service because, she just got fired from her good job. Luther is shitting on the girls. He ain't shit. And he tells TT, all right, you've been working under the table, but we're gonna have to put you on a payroll, so taxes will be being deducted. She's like, fuck, how am I gonna pay for a babysitter? The next day, they're at some block party type deal. Cleo was like, if some crackheads can rob a bank, we can rob a fucking bank. Jada's like, no. They show up to work the next day. TT has to bring her son because, again, she can't afford a fucking babysitter. She puts the baby down, they're cleaning. Next thing you know, the baby's fucking screaming hysterically. They take the baby to the hospital. He drank some damn chemicals. I guess they pump his stomach or whatever. He's fine. But child services show up like, bitch, no, we're taking your child. She's like, no. Cleo was like, yeah, bitch, we need to get this money, right? We need to get this money so you can pay for, childcare so you can have your son. So Frankie, the expert, starts breaking down what they need to do in order to make this shit happen. They end up casing a joint. The bank that they case, TT and Stoney go in there, checking the place out or whatever. This chocolate beautiful man named Keith walks up to Stoney and is like, "You fine as fuck. I'm trying to holler." So she gives him her number or whatever. The next day, they show up to a bank. Frankie takes them there. The bank Frankie takes them to is not the bank that they cased. Stoney is like, "What the fuck?" TT is like, "What the fuck?" Frankie is like, "We're robbing this bitch." TT is like, "Nah, she's fucking gone." But Frankie, Cleo, and Stoney is holding down the fort. They grab the cash, they leave, get away clean. TT show up to the spot. Frankie's counting it. They got a couple grand. Cleo's fucking hype. They're giving out the cuts. And then when Stoney hands TT her cut, Frankie is like, "Oh, hell no, she did nothing. She don't get no cut." TT is like, "I need this money so she can get her kid back." Her girls are like, "You acting out of pocket. She needs the money." Frankie's like, "All right, whatever. You my girl. Here." After that whole shebang, Keith ends up taking Stoney out on a date. There's chemistry or whatever. It's real cute. They clearly like each other. Meanwhile, at the fucking precinct, the cops looking at the tapes of the bank robbery, and the cop thinks he recognizes Stoney. So he tells his boss, a black man, is like, "You literally just killed her brother, so no, we're not bringing her in for questioning. Dumbass nigga." The white cop is like, "Damn it, what are we gonna do now?" Transition to the friends. Cleo is acting brand new. She buying all this shit. She done bought mad shit for her little girlfriend. She's ready to rob another bank. Stoney is like, "Bitch, you wildin'." Cleo puts a gun in Stoney's face and is like, "We're robbing another bank." Stoney is like, "Bitch, get that gun in my motherfucking face." Clearly, they have a slight falling out. Stoney and Keith go on date number 2. She asks him for advice. "What do you think about friends and money?" He's like, "They don't mix. Don't lose a good friend over some fucking money." She's like, "Aight." So Cleo, Frankie, and TT are riding around. TT and Frankie are like, "Cleo, you need to apologize to Stoney. You was wildin'." Cleo is like, "Fuck Stoney." Frankie and TT are like, "We're also not robbing another bank without Stoney." So next day at work, Cleo apologizes to Stoney. Stoney's like, "Aight, I guess we could rob another fucking bank." Robbery number 2. They show up, but it's some weird shit happening outside. There's a weird little altercation happening. Cops start pulling up outside. Titi, Frankie, and Stoney see the cops outside and are shooketh. They're like, "What the fuck? How are we gonna leave with all these fucking cops outside?" Next thing you know, Cleo drives through the glass doors. The bitches jump in with the money, get away clean. The cops are like, "These bitches again." The girls end up putting the money that they have in a vent at their job. Stoney ends up going on a 3rd date with Keith. They end up going to some banking event, lots of white people, fancy dresses and suits and all that. She has a blast. And then we get back to Keith's spot at the end of the night. Insert sexy 90s black sex scene. Ooh, I'm telling you, it was crazy. There were candles. Keith slid a little chain down Stoney's ass. It was a lot. Then TT, Frankie, and Cleo go to work. It's some new dude there. They're like, "Where's Luther?" And the man is like, "Oh, Luther don't work here no more." They go to the vent. The shit is clean. Ain't nothing in there. They're like, "Fuck." They go to the dude that they had gotten some guns on credit from Dr. Dre. And they tell Dr. Dre, "Yo, the money that we was gonna pay you with and our money was taken by Luther. Do you know where he is so we can go track him down?" He's like, "Yeah, I seen that nigga at XYZ." They go to the janky ass hotel where Luther is. This nigga with a white hoe got a perm, jewelry and shit in the hotel room. If this ain't the most ignorant shit you could have done with some money you found. So Cleo, TT, and Frankie show up, guns are blazing. They like, "Nigga, where the fuck is all the money? Luther like, I don't know. Cleo like, nigga, you's a lie. They see all the fucking shit everywhere. Luther gets the drop on Cleo. TT pulls out a gun, brah, puts like 2 hot ones, or maybe just one, in Luther. Luther dead. Cleo gets the white hole's ID. It's like, I know where you live. You ain't see shit tonight. She's like, oh, okay. They leave. The next day, the white cop that has been on these girls, on the robberies or whatever, pulls up on Cleo and her girl after they just went grocery shopping. He's like, I know what you did, Cleo. Cleo like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. He's like, I need to take you in. So she tells her girlfriend, go tell Stoney and the girls where I'm at. I'll be there soon. She goes to the lineup or whatever. She turns, taps the pocket where the white girl's ID is. I know where you live. The cops are like, do you recognize anyone? She's like, no. The cops are like all up on this bitch like, look, I know you'll see it. Do you recognize her? White hoe is like, no. Cleo, get out. She leaves. Cleo's like, yo, these fucking cops are on our ass. This nigga Luther done spent all our money. We need to do one last job and get the fuck out of Dodge because this shit is hot right now. So Frankie is like, I know where we could get $500,000. Downtown Federal. This is the initial bank that they cased. This is the bank in which Keith works. Stoney is like, does it have to be Downtown Federal? And Cleo is like, fuck that nigga that's been dicking you down. That's where we going for our next fucking job, period. The heist begins. This time, Frankie is the one who's the getaway. Stoney calls her man. Mind you, right now at Downtown Federal, the detectives that have been on these girls' ass are at Downtown Federal. They're doing a training on what to do if a robbery happens. They're going over protocol. While these niggas are talking, there's a call for Keith. Keith takes the call. It's Stoney. Stoney's like, Keith, I need you to meet me at the soul food restaurant where we had a date in 5 minutes. He don't even ask no questions. He like, all right. Hangs up. He's like, are we done here? They're like, yeah. The cops leave. He leaves. TT, Cleo, and Stoney enter. We're robbing Downtown Federal. They come in shooting lamps, little fucking pen holders and shit. They not playing no fucking games. They come in guns a-blazing. They start grabbing money. Keith is at the little soul food restaurant, waiting for Stoney to show up. The cops get alerted that the bank they just fucking left is being robbed. They like, these bitches again. TT's grabbing the money. Cleo is like, grab more. Stoney is like, don't be greedy. Cleo's like, fuck it, grab more. TT's grabbing more. These niggas. By the time they're done, about to head out, the cops done already came back. It's a standoff. The cop is like, look, we don't need any more people dying. I know your brother's dead. I'm sorry. But we don't need any more people dying. Stoney is like, they done pulled at her little heartstrings. She start putting the gun down. Then this fucking white security guard out of nowhere jumps in front of the fucking standoff and shoots TT. Cleo was like, ah, brrr. Stoney grabs TT. It's blood on the fucking floor. They trying to get out of there. They make it into the car. Frankie is like, what the fuck happened? They pull off. Now, they gotta change cars. TT's bleeding out. We know she's not gonna make it. She don't make it. All right, she don't make it. It's sad. They leave her in the back of that car and they leave. Everything is hot right now. They have to leave the fucking city. The cops are on the fucking lookout. They're driving. They end up going into a tunnel, cornered, not necessarily trapped, but cornered to an extent by some fucking helicopter or some shit. Cleo was like, y'all, get out, run, split up, I'll take the car. They're like, no, Cleo, fuck no, we're not leaving you. Stoney is like, we got to split up. Stoney and Frankie dip. Cleo dips. She ends up getting fucking cornered. It's a standoff. She smokes her last little cigarette. She turned on her little hydraulics. Sheds a little tear. A song where a black lady singing starts playing. It's sad. She gets out, is about to fucking fire, and they mow her ass down. And they catch it on tape. They show it on the fucking news. Typical. Her girlfriend sees it. The whole hood fucking sees it. Depressing ass shit. Stoney makes it onto some bus where people are wearing sombreros, so I assume it's going to Mexico. Frankie ends up being cornered by the fucking cops. Stoney's bus is pulling up to the intersection where she can see Frankie, the white cop that's been on their asses this whole time. The cop, he's there, he's walking, he puts the gun down. He's like, everybody stand down. That phony ass, hey, 50 cops with guns, stand down. Meanwhile, the cops were still fucking aiming their guns at her. He puts the gun down, he walks up to her. Frankie, take it easy. Take it easy, all right. Frankie puts the gun to this nigga's neck. She's like, what's the fucking procedure when you have a gun to your head? Circling back to the beginning of the story, y'all. She turns and tries to run, and one of them fucking cops, she falls. Stoney sees it. The cops see her. Well, the white cop sees her, see it, but he lets her go. No more people need to die, I guess, is what he might be thinking. She makes it to Mexico with the fucking money. It's sad. She's remembering her girls. Blood money, yo. People died for her to escape. She calls Keith and says, I'm safe and sound. He's happy for her. And she cuts her braids off. The black woman's representation of rebirth. And this caged bird is now free. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Set It Off.